There are limitations to powers of attorney. Powers of attorney do not remove any rights. And this is important when it comes to contracts. If your child is over the age of 18 and enrolls in an online college program, because they've heard everybody at school talking about college and they want to go to college, and so they get online and they just happen to have access to your credit cards or some other way to pay, they might enroll in an online college program. I have had a client contact me regarding this very issue. Their child enrolled in an online college. Mom didn't learn about it until she noticed an $8,000 charge on her credit card. And then they contacted the school and said, she really doesn't know what she's doing. And they're like, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, your choices are, we will reverse the charge if you will send us a police report that your credit card was used fraudulently. Or you can unenroll, you can do an early withdrawal, and you will get $6,000 of the $8,000 back. Well, Mom and Dad didn't want to run the risk of filing a police report against their child, and chances are it would never be prosecuted, but it sure doesn't look very good. And so they accepted the $2,000, that all they would get back was $6,000. These are some of the issues that are a problem. If, however, after that point, Mom and Dad decided, okay, it was worth doing the guardianship. And so that's why they were contacting me. So not having the rights removed is a problem. You cannot disavow or void contracts. By having the guardianship in place, those contracts from the very beginning are void. So Judge Clark, who is the Gwinnett County probate judge, will be happy to explain to whoever saying that they still want to enforce their contract that this individual by law cannot enter into a contract, therefore the contract you're holding cannot be enforced. And that usually, just telling them we'll meet in court is enough for them to say, yeah, forget it. Powers of attorney can be revoked. This is more of a problem when mental illness or mental health issues are the problem. When the individual is fine, perhaps on medications or whatever is not affecting them greatly, they can enter into a contract because they have the capacity to do that. The trouble is when they're in a crisis mode, and if paranoid schizophrenia is one of those issues, they might instruct the doctors, they might instruct the therapists, don't talk to my parents at all anymore. That is, in effect, a verbal revocation of the power of attorney. The treatment people must follow those instructions, even if they believe this person does not have the capacity to make that decision. In Georgia, powers of attorney do not have to be accepted, so you might run into problems of anybody even accepting your powers of attorney. Powers of attorney can be evidence of capacity. Let's say Mom and Dad in this credit card enrolling online program had powers of attorney for their daughter. If I were representing the school, I would ask, if we're about to go to court, do you have any powers of attorney? And if you say yes, here they are. Those powers of attorney are evidence that you believe your child has the capacity to enter into contracts, because powers of attorney are contracts. And if you're relying on them, then I, as the school who received a payment, would also say that they have the ability to enter into contracts and therefore we can't avoid. So that's another issue you got to be aware of, that powers of attorney can be evidence that you think your child has capacity.